Okay, so welcome back to another video, and in today's video I have plans to hook the Beamers up to the Cerwin Vega amps down there for two main reasons and two main reasons only. As you may know, I recently uploaded a video blasting the living crap out of my 18s, and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be a better way to get some bass at lower volumes? And I was like, oh, I could probably just plug the Beamers into one of the EQs and plug it into one of the Cerwin Vegas, or into the top Cerwin Vega and into the mixer, and have it as a 2.4 system. Oh my god, 4 subs, what the hell, I'm an idiot. But do it like that. And I was thinking about it and I went, you know what, I'm going to do that, because the amount of times I really watch a movie in here, it's going to be worth the effort just to quickly swap the subs from the Cerwin Vega, the Beamers from the Cerwin Vega, the top Cerwin Vega, back up to the Sony, because they're just banana plugs and it's a very, very easy connection. So today's video, I have plans to get the Beamers hooked up to that Cerwin Vega amp, and if you can't tell already, it's practically nighttime, sunset. Look at that color, it looks pretty nice out there. But nevertheless, in today's video, I'm going to be hooking the Beamers up to the Cerwin Vega, the top one, the CV900, so I can EQ some bass into them, so I can do some bassing at low volumes. And I don't know what it is, but I like to abuse speakers. Obviously, I make so many blowing speaker videos and everyone loves them. But I really do like just pushing speakers hard. I like pushing things to their limits. I have a mountain bike, I have 120mm of travel front and rear, and my god, do I use that every single ride. So if I have a speaker here that apparently aren't very highly rated woofers, I looked up the model number, I don't mind them, they're not too bad, but perhaps they're really shit woofers, really good enclosure. Therefore, one of my FS Audio woofers up in that cupboard could replace it, and it could be so much better. So I'm going to use them, I'm going to push stupid amounts of bass, stupid amounts of power into them, and we'll just use and abuse and just play around with them like that. If they blow, they blow. I have 4 woofers left up in my cupboard I can replace them with, but that's the plan for this video. So if you guys are keen for that, leave a like down below, and yeah, let's kick it off. Okay, so first things first, how are we going to get audio to them? What I need to do here is get my connection for my mixer from the back of my Sony receiver just here, and plug it in to the back of the Acer PC here into the headphone or audio output like that. So now, once I configure it on the computer, I can make the sound go out through the 3.5mm instead of the HDMI to the receiver. Instead, it'll go from the 3.5mm down there to the Beamers. Okay, so now that we've got that configured, you can hear that the 18s are playing full range. Holy crap, I just played with the EQ there. You can see I've boosted the treble frequencies right up. Listen to how freaking high these subwoofers can play. They have treble.
I can't fall for that weak shit. All this working ain't free. I've been down for 80s.
That's just the 18s. That sounds like a really good set of speakers. Holy crap. I'm actually mind blown. Like, you could almost run a set of cabinets full range with 2 of these in each cabinet, and maybe like the tiniest little bullet horns that cover like 10 kilohertz and above, and you'd get a ridiculous sound. I am mind blown. The mic's facing the wrong way, so the treble might not be all there, but that is ridiculous. Like, voice break. Oh shit, you know what, that sounds amazing.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. So it might be nice to own a
Okay, so now that we've come to the conclusion that these 18s play higher than Logitech speakers, I shouldn't use that joke, I'm gonna get so much hate in the comments. But in seriousness, these 18s play so high when there's no proper sub out being used, which means I am going to be using none other than the Behringer crossover that someone was complaining about the other week that I wasn't using, along with the other EQ and the other amps. So I'm going to be using that amp, the crossover, both EQs, one for the subs and one for the front of house. And you guessed it, they're all going to be used except for the phonic amps because they sound like shit. So that's that. These subs play stupidly high, pro audio, it's funny. That last video was 100% the subs. I don't know how I can prove to you that it was, but only the bottom Cerwin Vega amps were on. It's only outputting through the 3.5 mil. The beamers are turned. Look, I can turn. You can see up there. Hang on, let me get a close up on that. You can see up there, Sony receiver is turned down all the way, which has plugged the beamers into it, and the song's paused. The 18s. You can see there the signal light, so it's definitely just the 18s, but nevertheless, now I'm going to grab some wires out. We're going to hook up the EQ. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this so I can try and avoid the noise floor of that other amp. I might have to just I might have to skip the big Behringer EQ over here and just use that one for front of house and that one, the output for the subs. I'll figure it out. Something cool is going to happen here and it's going to be absolutely awesome. Man, I've confused myself tonight, but I've just remembered that the middle Behringer EQ has a subwoofer out, so I do not need to use the crossover because I set up a whole bunch of stuff, and I was not going to say this, but I may as well just dog myself in. Set up a whole bunch of weird sketchy wires, had to undo connectors and bend them so they'd fit behind the wall, and it just looked really weird, and I was like, oh, this is just sketchy as. And then of course I remembered that the Behringer has a subwoofer out, so I'm going to be using the middle, well, that Behringer, the smaller one, for everything, subwoofer out, and then the mains through to the beamers. So that's set up now. The main channel out to that, I plugged into that, and then the sub out into a splitter into both of those. So now I'm just going to check that the Cerwin Vega is in stereo mode, and then I'm going to work out my lefts and rights and plug in the beamers. Well, actually I'll have to plug the beamers in first, then work out my lefts and rights, set up all the gains, and hopefully we can get this thing pumping and working correctly. Okay, so we can see this big bundle of wires here that's cable tied. That was all the speaker outputs that come up to here. Oh, look at that lens flare on that light. That was for all the speaker outputs that come up here, and I was getting ready to chop it and make everything messy and then have to re-cable tie it. Turns out the cable ties would just slide straight down if I put enough force. And in case it wasn't obvious enough, I'm trying to do this whole thing without moving the amp rack out of the way. Also, yes, I will clean that amp. But now I've come to the conclusion that banana plugs, speakers, they fit, but they have bloody end caps on them, so I can't plug the banana plugs in without getting a flathead screwdriver and prying them off. So now I've got to try and do that without moving the amp rack out, because this thing weighs like 100+ kilos and I cannot be bothered moving it at 9:30 at night. This tiny little flathead screwdriver owes me everything. I managed to get the ends off, let's not drop them. Now I can plug the beamers into that Cerwin Vega amp, you guessed it, and then we can get this going. It's officially working and I can't turn it up, but have a look.
They keep moving along, It's been like 5 years I've been doing these songs. I put everything I had into proving you wrong. I'm looking in the mirror, am I doing this wrong? But that's the way the dice rolls. That's the way the dice rolls. I've been focused on life goals.
As I said, cannot turn it up at all. They're running the subs, that's running the mains. There's probably a bit too much signal for bass. As you can see, I've got bass boosted up quite a substantial amount. And if we have a look at the gains on the Cerwin Vega, the top one, they're about 3/4, and this is about a 1/16. It's ridiculous, but anyway, there it is working, and there'll be some videos coming of me blasting the system. But let's just have a quick look. So we run 3.5 mil out of the PC, comes down into that RCA in, that RCA out, goes to the 1/4 inch in on that. Then the subwoofer out of that goes into a splitter and plugs into those. And the main output to that plug into the back of the Cerwin Vega amp. Just there you can see the XLR cable. And then banana plugs out into the speak-on outputs of the beamers with no brand tag on them because they were beat up and they were ugly, so I took them off. So there it is. It's a 2.4 ish system, and it sounds frigging amazing. I'll just blast, well, I won't blast anything, I'll just play this song so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I'll make some louder videos tomorrow or the day after.